Mordecai and Rigby start this episode once again trying to avoid work, which reinforces the ongoing pattern that their simplest responsibilities always spiral into something far beyond their control. This time Benson gives them a task that sounds almost impossible to mess up: setting up chairs for a kid's birthday party. The straightforward nature of the job makes their reluctance even more absurd, and it clearly shows how deeply ingrained their habit of procrastination is. Instead of treating it as something quick and manageable, they immediately begin searching for distractions, which sets the entire conflict into motion. Their decision to ditch the task and play around in the empty auditorium highlights how easily they can turn even the most harmless environment into a stage for chaos. Mordecai tries to stay focused at least for a moment, but Rigby's short attention span drags both of them into trouble. The dynamic between them becomes even clearer here. Rigby is impulsive, constantly looking for fun, while Mordecai allows himself to get pulled into Rigby's energy despite knowing better. The episode uses this tension to build humor, while also reinforcing how their bond directly creates the problems they later have to solve. Introducing the group of ominous creatures living inside the auditorium is where the story shifts from simple irresponsibility to surreal danger. Their appearance feels sudden but fits perfectly with the show's tone, where the supernatural is always lurking beneath normal tasks. These beings, who emerge because Mordecai and Rigby disturb the room's sacred space, represent another example of how regular show blends mythic elements with everyday chores. The creatures' anger over the boys disrespecting the space parallels Benson's anger about them slacking off, connecting the supernatural threat to the real-world consequences of their behavior. As the monsters attack, Mordecai and Rigby's reactions mirror their usual pattern: panic, improvisation, and a desperate scramble to undo whatever they caused. Their attempts to escape feel frantic and mildly comedic, emphasizing how unprepared they are for anything resembling responsibility. It also highlights how frequently they rely on luck rather than skill to survive. Even when Mordecai tries to think of a plan, Rigby's reckless actions keep escalating the danger, turning a simple mistake into a full-scale supernatural confrontation. Once they finally realize they need to take the job seriously to stop the madness, the story comes together in a way that subtly reinforces the show's underlying message. Responsibility, even when reluctantly accepted, is the only thing that prevents supernatural chaos from taking over their lives. Setting up the chairs suddenly becomes more than a chore. It becomes a literal requirement for restoring order. The connection between completing their work and calming the monsters is a clever twist that makes the resolution feel both comedic and strangely logical within the show's universe. Their rushed effort to arrange the chairs while dodging attacks creates a sense of frantic energy that keeps the episodes pacing quick and engaging. Every chair put in place becomes part of a desperate ritual, turning a mundane task into a life-or-death situation. This transformation is one of the strengths of the series. Ordinary responsibilities are exaggerated until they resemble epic quests, making the smallest acts of laziness feel monumental. When they finally finish the setup, the creatures retreat, proving that the task was never as trivial as they assumed. The aftermath brings the story back to its comedic roots when Benson sees the finished setup and assumes they did a great job from the start. Mordecai and Rigby avoid punishment despite causing chaos behind the scenes, which reinforces the recurring theme that their victories often come through a mix of luck and accidental success rather than genuine competence. They survive another day at the park with their jobs intact, but the underlying message remains the same. Every time they try to take shortcuts, the universe pushes back in bizarre ways. This episode deepens the formula established in the premiere by showing that even the simplest job can explode into a supernatural ordeal when handled by Mordecai and Rigby. Their friendship continues to drive the story as they encourage each other's worst impulses while also depending on each other to escape the resulting disasters. The blend of normal tasks, reckless behavior, and unexpected magical consequences strengthens the continuity of the series and sets the stage for the next episode, where their search for entertainment and avoidance of responsibility once again leads to unpredictable trouble.